On this eve of Election Day, we're glad you've elected to join us here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The Clemson Tigers open up the 2022 and 23 season, taking on the Citadel Bulldogs out of the Southern Conference. Hi, everybody. Welcome in, along with former Tiger J.D. Powell, Pete Ganity. Well, leading into this campaign, Clemson's known that P.J. Hall would not be available early on. So the whole offseason, J.D., was designed being able to play without him.
Yeah, and two big guys for the Tigers have really stepped up. Ian Schifflin and Ben Middlebrooks had a great trip to France with the team, shot over 50% this summer, and they're well prepared. What are their skill sets as each guy brings a little bit different in trying to fill the huge shoes of Hall in the post? Ian Schifflin is a little bit more athletic. He's a little more dynamic with his ability to drive the basketball, whereas Ben Middlebrook is a little stronger at the rim, but they're both very good passers and they're capable shooters from three. And it'll be Middlebrooks to jump center against Stephen Clark of the Citadel Bulldogs. Chase Hunter, now a senior, really came on as last season progressed as a scorer. The Citadel Bulldogs, a new head coach, a lot of new faces. We'll dive into the Southern Conference team as we get going here. And JD, so good to have you alongside for the first time. Former Tiger player and then many years as an assistant coach, most recently at Georgia. And it's going to be a lot of fun doing this game tonight as we're underway and the Tigers with it first. Hunter Tyson goes to work inside. Thanks, Pete. Excited to be here with you guys tonight. It's a special night.
Second effort by Tyson, and nothing doing. Citadel Bulldogs, just one player from a pretty deep freshman class a year ago returned. That would be Jackson Price. He's not out on the court right now. Brady Spence, one of their veterans, giving it away. They work it out high. Madison Durer now. Stephen Clark, their best returning player. Shot clock at 10.
Yeah, the Citadel wants to spread the floor as much as possible. They're going to have a ton of movement. They've got to score it from the perimeter.
Down low, Durr can't get it to fall, but there's Spence with the follow. Brady Spence, senior out of Douglasville, Georgia, plagued with injuries throughout his career, but they tell us he's about as close to 100% as he's going to be.
It's so hard for a big whenever somebody runs in from the perimeter to offensive rebound. That's a tough box out.
Hunter with the pull-up. Tigers might lead the league in Hunters and Chaunceys. They've got 3 Hunters on the roster, either first name or last name, and a couple of guys named Chauncey. One of them was redshirting this year. 2-2 game. Longtime rivals Clemson and the Citadel, former Southern Conference foes. Clark threw it in a direction that his teammate Austin Ash wasn't going. So the Bulldogs striking first, good cleanup inside.
Yeah, like I said, anytime a big is on the perimeter and the shot goes up, that's a tough box out. Middlebrook missed that one.
And then Hunter with the pull-up on the other end. Chase Hunter, his younger brother, as you probably know, is on the team. There's another one of the newcomers, Brevin Galloway. Tyson, pump fake. The feed. And Middlebrooks.
Those first night nerves, Pete, it takes just a few minutes to get some of that stuff out of your system. You can see that early.
Middlebrooks, a guy, of course, who got here earlier than he should have, jumped over his senior year of high school, essentially, but got some quality minutes last season. So stepping into that starting role at the beginning of this campaign, probably not all that difficult for him. Clark, the Charlotte native, spinning on Tyson, can't get the roll. And the Tiger, fifth-year senior with the rebound. Hunter. Suddenly in January last year, Chase Hunter became the scorer that he'd been in high school.
Yeah, 9 double-digit games in the last 16. He's really going to have a great year. I'm excited for him.
Madison Durer came to them from Hargrave Military Academy. He's got his first bucket as a Citadel Bulldog.
Madison Durer is a freshman out of Georgia. They've got high hopes for him. He's a strong point guard.
Brevin Galloway from the College of Charleston to BC, now to Clemson. And how about that feed for an assist?
Yeah, one of my first people I got to hug tonight when I walked in the building was Brevin Galloway. I coached him for 4 years at the College of Charleston. Really proud of what he's done.
That'll be exciting for him to play just across the bridge from where he grew up. And an offensive foul be called.
That's absolutely right, Pete. I saw his dad earlier. His dad played at Southern Wesleyan down the street, and just such a dream come true. Obviously, his brother Braden played tight end for the Tigers, so it's a special time for the Galloway family.
Colby McAllister, freshman for the Citadel, picking up his first personal foul. And the first one called in the game on either side. Alex Hemingway on the floor. Hunter Tyson, truly a glue guy, really throughout his career, but this season more than ever. What a great leader he is for Brad Brownell to have on the team. Chase Hunter on the drive, and he'll head to the line.
So free throws upcoming. Ed Conroy, his second tenure at the Citadel. You know him quite well.
Yeah, I've known Ed for a long time. Great man. He is a Citadel man. He's an alumnus. He still holds the record in 2 of the top 10 categories. Back for his second stint at the Citadel. He loves the Military College of South Carolina. There's nobody better prepared to lead this program than Coach Conroy.
Chase Hunter knocking down his first free throw attempt of the season, 75% a year ago. Ed Conroy, a 4-year stint as the head coach at his alma mater the first time, and he delivered one of just 3 20-win seasons in the long history of Citadel hoops. That was back in the 2008-09 season.
08-09, that was a really special year. I was in Charleston that year coaching at Charleston Southern, and the energy around that program, the Citadel alum really rally around their sports teams, and they loved that team that year.
And he had one of the best players, I think, in Citadel history, Cameron Wells, a guard. In fact, 3 straight years, the Citadel had the runner-up for the most outstanding player, most valuable player in the Southern Conference. The winner each of those years was a guy named Steph Curry.
That's right.
So that tells you all you need to know. Look at Clark. That's a big man move. A couple of years ago when he first came to them, that's not a shot he would necessarily finish. And it's back to a 2-point game.
He's such a dynamic guy, 112 assists, 72 turnovers last year. They're going to use him to initiate a lot of offense.
It was a team that lost Hayden Brown, who elected to play his final year at South Carolina. He was a great player in the SoCon for them. Tyson can't get it on the jumper. Durer comes away with it. He'll push the pace. Good job defending by Galloway to create the turnover.
Absolutely. Made sure he didn't foul.
Galloway the pull-up. Shefflin. Hemingway. And the infraction going to be an offensive foul. Alex Hemingway called for the charge as Dave Maynard hit the deck. Tigers playing aggressively early on, a 2-point lead in the season opener. Saw the Tigers with a nice backdoor cut moments ago. Don't forget about Ben Middlebrook's role in that play.
Absolutely. This high post screener has become so valuable for Clemson. Right here we've got 2 cutters. Middlebrook sets the first one. Hunter Tyson comes off of that second cut. We get the layup right there. That's an assisted field goal. That's a big play.
And Middlebrooks, his famous connection, the nephew of a guy who played some pretty good quarterback, both in college and the NFL, Danny Cannell.
And his sister was a student athlete at Clemson.
There you go. So a further Clemson connection as well. He's getting a rest. Citadel ball trying to tie or take their first lead. Clark's strong move. Tyson defended. Those guys from the same neck of the woods in the Metro Line area probably have gotten to know each other over the years. Hunter, hop step. Knocked away. Nice reach-in move by the Citadel's Austin Ash, the Iowa transfer. It'll stay in Clemson's end.
So Dylan Hunter is checked in. This is one of the biggest things for us to watch is who's going to be the primary ball handler whenever Dylan comes in with his brother Chase.
Galloway looked low, and now Dylan Hunter took a shot to the head, but he'll be called for his first personal foul.
So Dylan Hunter, a freshman, 64th rated recruit in the country. He was signed with Baylor early. The Tigers were able to get him late. I've loved watching him in practice and in the exhibition game. He's really going to help the Tigers.
A little bit of a different frame than his older brother. He's 6'3", 193.
He does not look like a freshman, Pete.
Did some good things in last week's preseason game. Look at Clark's spin move. Averaged 9.7 a game last season. That number will grow for a couple of reasons, but he's going to be their go-to presence inside. Tied up at 8. Crossover, Galloway blew right by David Maynard, the defender.
It's one of the best things that Brevin Galloway did last Wednesday. He didn't settle for threes. He attacked the rim.
Maynard played in this building with Colgate a few years ago. He'll kick it on the wing. And a heave from downtown. Austin Ash, his first 3 as a Citadel Bulldog.
He can really shoot the basketball.
Dylan Hunter out to his older brother. Boy, how's that relationship going to work now that they're on the same college team? Pull up by Chase. No, but Hunter Tyson on the rebound. Drives in on Clark. And the first personal on the Citadel big man.
So much of Hunter Tyson's career has been about his physical development. Always was a really skilled guy, but now the ability to go down low, offensive rebound it, play with strength. He's really developed his body during his career.
Just a much thicker player than when he first got here.
So, Pete, I went into his high school and saw him when he was a senior. His dad is the principal at his high school. He was a thin guy, but joined that class for Clemson and has really turned out to be a special player for the Tigers.
He told me his mom and dad were both collegiate athletes, and so good athletic family.
And his brother is a freshman at Belmont. He will be in Greenville this Friday whenever the Furman Paladins host the Belmont Bruins this week.
Missed a number of games last season to Tyser with the injury, and he really was missed in this Clemson lineup. Free throws go down. He hit them at 79% a year ago. The Tigers move back in front, 12-11. Brad Brownell coaching him up over on the bench. Citadel, if you follow the Bulldogs, you're going to see a lot of new players. One of them with the ball, Elijah Morgan, gives it away to another of their newcomers, Ash, who hit that 3 moments ago. Here's Maynard, one of the few returnees. Clark driving inside on a Tiger newcomer, R.J. Godfrey, who will be called for the personal foul. Freshman out of Sewanee, Georgia. R.J. Godfrey, big presence, 6'7", 225.
So here comes Stephen Clark. We talked about that left-hand drive to the spin move right there. He's got good size, good length, leading returning scorer for the Citadel. He's off to a good start.
Matthews, North Carolina native.
Talking to the Citadel staff this week about Stephen Clark, they talked about how old they are with guys like Clark and those other graduate transfers, and then how young they are with their freshmen.
Off the miss by Ash. Clemson trying to build in the lead. Godfrey kicking it over to his fellow freshman Hunter. And back out high, Chase Hunter. Well, here's your answer. Chase Hunter, the one handling the ball with his brother Dylan in the game for the first time. We'll see how that evolves. Shot clock at 10. Forces the jumper over Morgan. Not going to go down. Here come the Bulldogs. Madison Dorr, physical freshman, got an extra year before coming to college at Hargrave, and the foul inside, and I think that's a quick 2 on Godfrey. We're going to say Dylan Hunter on the reach-in.
R.J. Godfrey's fortunate right there. Kind of came over as the help defender, but they called that on Dylan Hunter. R.J. Godfrey is a big, strong freshman from North Gwinnett High School, plays with a really high motor. Coach Brownell loves him so far, loves his intensity, particularly on the defensive end.
Dylan Hunter picked up his second personal. He hits the bench. R.J. Beadle on the court for the first time. Anxious to get his Clemson career going, redshirted last year. Dorr trying to make it 2 out of 2 as a high schooler, 1,000 points, 500 career rebounds. And again, Atlanta area native, but he played at Hargrave Military before arriving at the Military College of South Carolina.
Quick transition from the military school in Virginia.
Bulldogs back in front. Had a couple of lead changes here in the opening half. And Galloway looks like he was fouled. Maynard on the personal. Brad Brownell, season opener, number 13 for him at the helm of Clemson. All-time winningest coach of this program, 17 victories a year ago, and he'll be the first one to tell you that's not good enough. Once you get this team back to the NCAA tourney where they were for the 2020 and 21 season, nearly got past Rutgers in that opening round game.
Coach Brownell's really excited about his staff. I really like the group that he's put together. They're off to a great start.
Morgan in transition, crossing over on Schifflin, a little bit too strong. Scramble. Eventually Galloway, and a good job by the BC transfer.
I'm excited about Josh Beadle, Pete. You know, left-handed guy from Cardinal Newman here in Columbia, South Carolina, can really score the basketball and played well Wednesday.
Schifflin, there's that move you talked about down low.
Big, strong, physical guy. Grayson High School in Georgia. Can score the ball on the block well.
Tigers back in front, 14-13. Bulldogs, Tony Carpio on the court, number 23, another freshman big man for them. Durr, they're expecting him to be an effective player, especially once they get into SoCon play, and he's fouled
Looks like Josh Beadle got him on the way up.
The Citadel. So the Citadel has made a conscious effort to try to post the Clemson guards. So there you see it again with Madison Durr posting up Josh Beadle. Several fouls drawn. That's already 5 team fouls on the Tigers.
6'4", 200 pounds, but a physical presence. And again, a big guard who will be a size matchup in a lot of games they play this year. Hunter Tyson back out on the court, 4 points so far. Rattles home the second, 15-14 Citadel. Tigers lead this all-time series 61-24 and working on quite the winning streak. They've taken 16 in a row, going all the way back to the 80-81 season against the school from Charleston. Boy, you give it to that guy in the low block, it's lights out.
Really good execution coming off of that free throw with that cross screen.
Maynard, second year with the Bulldogs, came to them as a grad transfer with 2 years of eligibility left after playing at Colgate. Bulldogs will play with tempo, but an up tempo, but here trying to get the half court set right. Coming up on 5 on the shot clock. Ash challenged by Hemingway. Just missed that one off the front iron. Hunter Tyson. Beadle drives on Durr. Can't get the finger roll.
That's exactly what Clemson's looking for Beadle to be able to do, to attack the rim.
From the wing, Elijah Morgan. That's his first 3 as a Citadel Bulldog. Got to feel good about that.
The transfer from Notre Dame, Pete. Not wasting any time.
Back in front go the Bulldogs. So been back and forth here over the past few minutes. Hemingway, the pull-up. And it comes down to Austin Ash. Citadel tries to build its biggest lead in transition. Ash eating that. And again, his head coach isn't reticent to that. You want to go ahead and try the threes, why not? Under their head coach over the past 7 years, Duggar Balkum, they had the reputation for shooting threes. But when Ed Conroy was there, they shot about as many as anyone in the country. Shefflin battling for the rebound, but out it goes. Back over to the Bulldogs. Timeout on the court. Ian Shefflin knows he's got to become the man filling the shoes of the injured P.J. Hall. We've seen that out of the sophomore from Grace of Georgia so far here in Little. Well, the wait continues for P.J. Hall, trying to come back from a couple of injuries since last season. The most recent one, a knee surgery, and they just continue to hurry up and wait, if you will, as the expectation was maybe by this month he'd be able to at least get back to practicing and at a high level, maybe be game ready by the middle of November. But just very much wait and see on the Tigers star out of Dorman High. He is the guy, of course, all conference consideration in the preseason. Tigers hope to get their big man, their driving force inside. P.J. Hall back sooner than later. With J.D. Powell, Pete Hannity with you here in Littlejohn. Season opener, the Citadel Bulldogs hang right in there with the Tigers. Elijah Morgan, one of their transfers. He came from Notre Dame, and he goes to work low in the paint. Battle inside. Spence on the putback, his second bucket.
Brady Spence, that's the second offensive rebound. He's been really effective down there on the glass.
Largest lead for the Bulldogs. Chase Hunter right past the defender as Spence hit the ground. Tigers' first field goal in a couple of minutes. Clark defended by Hunter Tyson. Backs in on the Tigers senior. Not soft enough off the glass. Boy, Tyson at 6'8", really battling inside.
The Citadel continues to make an effort to try to take it to the post against their guards and their forwards.
Hunter Tyson, the pump fake. Here's Chase Hunter. Little dish. Shefflin. 6 points. And he'll go to the line.
It's a great start for Ian Shefflin. He came off the bench. That's 6 points now. Great spacing right there as Chase Hunter drove it, got his hands ready. Great spacing right there. Ian stays away from Chase. He's got his hands ready. Chase makes an easy basket for Ian. Set him up well.
71% from the line as a freshman. Shiflin, a guy who had his career high against North Carolina, 12 points, and that's not the easiest thing to do, so he's got the ability to score. And Brad often said, especially early last year, that guys like Middlebrooks and Shiflin, they were just trying to figure things out on this level. Each coming here needing to grow physically and get used to the ACC level of play.
Yeah, when you think about that Ben Middlebrooks should only be a freshman right now, that's significant.
So the score tied at 20 apiece. Citadel began last season on an ACC court and knocked off the Pitt Panthers up in the Steel City. That guy keeps doing that. It's going to be a tough night for Clemson. Austin Ash draining another tray.
Austin Ash continues to stretch the Tiger defense, and he is letting that thing go from deep.
Shiflin feeding low. Hunter Tyson, strong move. Clark got there too late. Bulldogs have been in the Southern Conference since 1936, about 15, 18 years together with Clemson in that league, where the Tigers left in the early 50s when the ACC was formed. Durr on the drive. Strong move, and he'll head to the line. Boy, that is a good-looking freshman for Ed Conroy's team.
The spacing that the Citadel is playing with right now is giving the Tigers a lot of trouble. They've got them so spread out that it's creating some room to be able to drive. Austin Ash has made some threes, so they're a little bit spread out right now. They've got to be able to guard the ball better one-on-one. Just like this one right here, whenever Brevin Galloway gets beat from the top of the key to the right. That's a talented freshman play from Madison Durr.
Galloway's first personal. 16 fouls on the Tigers, 5 so far on the Bulldogs. Durr remains perfect at the foul line. 5 for 5. Give him 9 points. That leads all scorers.
Madison Durr is off to a great start, particularly as a freshman, and Ed Conroy has always done that at the Citadel. He's not afraid to play young guys.
We'll talk more about Ed Conroy's interesting coaching journey as we continue here tonight. Off the miss, Maynard running it down. Bulldogs try to build their biggest lead of this opening half. Maynard lost it to the right guy. His teammate out on the wing. Dylan Engler just checked in. From the corner, Maynard. And inside, battle for the rebound. The foul is going to be called, I believe, on Spence coming over the back. Citadel Bulldogs have a 4-point lead, in part because Austin Ash has been hitting him from outside, either up high or in the corner. Tigers' Hunter Tyson keeping his team in it. Ed Conroy and the Citadel Bulldogs, a 4-point lead, 7:35 to go in the opening half. Second tenure as the head coach at the Citadel. He left after the 09-010 season to become the head coach at Tulane. And then after guiding that American Athletic Conference program, he has since been an assistant in both the Big Ten and the SEC. He's been around guys like Richard Pitino. Came to the Citadel after serving as an assistant at Vanderbilt.
To Jerry Stackhouse, who many in the SEC think is one of the best X and O's guys in that league.
Jerry Stackhouse learned from some pretty good guys back in his college days. Brevin Galloway forcing one. Not going to go. Look at Shiflin battling inside. And Hunter saves it to another Hunter. From Chase to Tyson. Hemingway. That's what he does. 41% beyond the arc a year ago. And just like that, Clemson's back within a point.
So Alex Hemingway led the Tigers in scoring in France. They're going to need him to play well, particularly early this year until PJ's back.
From the wing, Morgan, not that time. Bulldogs 3 of 7 beyond the arc, but good scrapping hustle that time by Kobe McAllister to recycle their possession. Morgan, a guy who would have faced the Tigers with Notre Dame. Shot clock at 5. Engler kicks it back out. One on the shot clock. Morgan realizes it to beat the buzzer. It'll head out, and Clemson will get it back. Tigers trying to crash the glass so far in rebounds tonight. It's even at 11 apiece.
Ian Schifflin with a big offensive rebound. Finds Alex Hemingway on the outside. Big shot for the Tigers. Got to be able to offensive rebound in games like this when you're Clemson.
Tigers 3 offensive boards so far. Bullet pass. Hunter Tyson. Schifflin with the righty touch. Boy, he's come off the bench and provided quite the boost.
That's the second time the Tigers have ran a cross-screen action after a dead ball or a free throw for him, and he's done a great job executing.
8 points for the sophomore from just outside of Atlanta. 9th lead change in the opening half. Tigers back in front by a point. Clark play inside or out. Tried to find Spence, his teammate. Tyson read it well. Hunter Tyson, 20 steals a year ago. Gets one there. Other end, a foul down low. It'll go against the Bulldogs. David Maynard picking up the personal, and that's his second. "17 fouls on the Citadel. And we've got a timeout on the court. We'll take a break as well here in Littlejohn Coliseum. A lot of spirit here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Fall break wrapping up for the Clemson students. And the students who play on the men's basketball team trying to begin this 2022 and 23 campaign with a victory against an in-state school. The Palmetto State flavor to the first 3 games. The rivalry showdown comes up on Friday night in Columbia, about as early a Clemson-USC basketball game as I can remember.
Yeah, such a big thing when Frank Martin was at South Carolina. They couldn't get the game when students were there. It was a December game. It's great for both programs that they're going to play that in November.
Tigers build the lead out to 3. Evan Galloway, 4 points so far. Spence. And the drive inside. Durr changing hands. Almost got it to go. Middlebrooks defended. Here's Chase Hunter. He'll pull up. And Durr the rebound. That may be one they watch on game film and indicate an offensive rebound could have been a possibility, but no trouble at all. Middlebrooks taking it away. Hemingway tries for another tray. We'll bring it up court at 6'4", good ball handling skills. He could be a really dynamic point guard for them as well if they so desire.
And he caught Ben Middlebrooks in a switch in the last possession and was able to get downhill, just missed the layup.
Conroy telling us that he wasn't really sure what his guard rotation would look like because they're without a freshman A.J. Smith and a senior Rudy Fitzgibbons tonight for various physical reasons, and an offensive foul called on Durr.
Madison Durr continues to attack the rim. He drew some fouls early on, but he was able to stay vertical right there, and they didn't foul him, led to the offensive foul. Here you see him getting downhill. Madison Durr is a strong guy to be a freshman, you know, to drop that shoulder, got where he wanted to get.
He heads to the bench. About 4.5 to go before the break with his second personal foul. Middlebrooks got the start tonight. Ian Schifflin trying to fill the shoes of P.J. Hall while he's still out. Galloway splits defenders so nicely.
I've been really impressed how Brevin Galloway has attacked the rim in the exhibition game and here tonight instead of just settling for threes. It's going to open up more things.
Now it looks like Ash got caught off balance, and then if this were hockey, we'd call it tripping. Instead, it'll be a push on Middlebrooks. See some down low action for the Tigers. Really nice drive by Galloway.
So Brevin Galloway tore his ACL 2 years ago at Charleston against South Carolina State. Went to Boston College with Earl Grant last year, but got an extra year back late in the process, was able to come home to Clemson. His body looks the best that I've seen in about 3 years, really moving well right now.
Tigers wish he had missed the flight from Boston down here a year ago because you'll recall he delivered the dagger. So now he's here to make amends this season for that one moment in time in his collegiate career.
Absolutely. He calls it a dream come true to play for the Purple and Orange.
5-point game. Tigers look to build their biggest lead of this opening half. Chase Hunter driving inside on Morgan, and a pretty move while he was in the air. And Ed Conroy has seen enough, and he calls the timeout. Chase Hunter in double figures with 10 points.
Chase continues to get downhill, attacking the rim.
If you play for Brad Brownell, you've got to be able to switch on defense in an instant.
So right here, Ian Schifflin is going to be involved in this ball screen with Hunter Tyson. There's a switch. Now Ian is going to be able to stay in front and move his feet. Now the big part, you've got to be able to stay out with the shooters. Ian does a good enough job moving his feet. They're able to stay out. It leads to a turnover. That's how you got to be able to guard when they try to space the floor like that.
They're moving out on Ash, who obviously is a little bit smaller, probably a little bit quicker. At 6'3", 185. Schifflin 6'7", 230, and that 230 is a solid rock of granite, having seen him be able to adjust physically as his freshman year progressed a season ago. Elijah Morgan with the move. Bulldogs trying to break an 11-0 Tigers run. So here comes Clemson looking to build on that. Galloway, no fear down the lane. What a good job on the rebound by Jackson Price, who just checked in, the sophomore out of Hiram, Georgia. Other end, Morgan got a little bit too physical as Hunter Tyson hit the deck.
Hunter Tyson continues to do what he does. Stands in there, takes that charge, moves his feet. Team foul on the Citadel and a turnover. Hunter Tyson.
Bulldogs continue a scoring drought of nearly 5 minutes. In the process, Clemson's gone up by 7.
Tigers have been able to guard the ball and stay out with shooters.
Hunter Tyson turned into a point guard for a moment. Chase Hunter will fire from out front.
Tigers are starting to get in rhythm. Chase feels comfortable with that. That ball screen, they went underneath it. He drove it last time. That time he pulled up from 3.
13 points to lead all scorers for the Tigers senior from Atlanta, Chase Hunter. Maynard. Ash. Quick heave with the right hand as Hemingway got out there and wanted the travel call against the Citadel guard. That snaps a 14-0 Clemson run.
Such a hard shot. Ash is pivoting, able to get it off.
Hunter will pull up. Oh, he's feeling it. Chase Hunter, when he got hot last year, a lot of his buckets were scored close to the basket, but he did hit him at 35% beyond the arc.
Chase Hunter has been a really dynamic scoring guy for him all throughout the trip to France and in the preseason, off to a great start this year.
You can imagine with everyone, not just the post players we've talked about, trying to pick up for the scoring in the absence of Hall, how much better tooled they would be for his return once he gets up and going.
Yeah, it's exciting for Coach Brownell to think about the possibilities.
Deep shot clock and a violation. Morgan got hung up. Hemingway and company able to get the turnover.
So Coach Brownell really felt like this had to be a better defensive team for him this season. You know, that's such a calling card of his. Adding associate head coach Billy Donlin to come back and help with some defensive stuff. I've loved what I've seen from them in practice defensively and tonight.
He says the fact that these guys are a team that likes each other, he thinks actually will help them play better defense.
You've got to be connected.
Comment.
You've got to be connected to play well on defense.
Bulldogs 9 turnovers in the opening half of play. Tigers forced just over 11 a season ago. Galloway well beyond the arc with another tray for the Tigers. That's his first in a Clemson uniform. From long range, Clemson hitting him at 44% in their lead. Now to double figures. Extended. Ash forced the shot. Another rebound for Tyson. What a good first half he's having. That's 6 boards so far.
But they made him dribble it. That's the most important part. They made Ash put it on the deck.
Hunter called for the screen from Middlebrooks. Thought about the shot. How about Hemingway? And Clark runs it down. Clark and Tyson out high. Little backdoor feed Maynard. Nice idea inside for Price. Galloway almost knocked it away. A little bobble by Price. Didn't have possession, so no travel, and he gets the hoop.
So the Tigers have used their timeout, so Coach Brownell is going to let them go.
And Chase Hunter calling the timeout with 17.4 to go. And we'll take a break as well. An 11-point advantage for the Clemson team on Citadel. Brad Brownell and the Tigers trying for one more good set offensively. Tiger team that's led by as many as 13. Chase Hunter starting his senior season quite well. 16 points so far. We're not even at halftime yet. Ended up averaging just under 7 a game last year, but again, a surge in scoring over the final 4 to 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he really finished the year well, playing with a lot of confidence. It's off to a great start.
Tiger team that saw Naz Bohannon and David Collins move on. Nick Honor transferred. So did Alamir Dawes. The guy with the ball wanted the holdover, as well as Hemingway. Under 10 to go. Middlebrooks. Hunter Tyson. 4. Here's Hunter from the wing. Why not? Feeling it. Knew it before it left his hand. And the Clemson Tigers close the opening half on a roll. A 20-5 run over the final 7 minutes and 8 seconds. And a 14-point advantage at the break. Through the tunnel they go here at the half. Chase Hunter and Clemson feeling it here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The senior scoring from all over the floor. And a dagger at the break for the big lead. A stylish look with the holidays approaching here in Littlejohn Coliseum. And the Clemson Tigers trying to get the celebration going early in this 2022 and 23 season. Ed Conroe and the Citadel looking to get back to their mid-first half form when they were able to open up a double possession lead, but Tigers then close the half on a big run.
First 4 minutes, Pete, always big.
In college football, the cool new term is the middle 8, which I had not heard until this season. Ever since Al McGuire said it on a basketball telecast, the first 5 minutes of the second half has been the thing. Nice play out of the start of the second half, but Spence unable to finish inside.
Really good drop off by Madison Durr. He continues to play well.
Chase Hunter been running some point tonight, but certainly carrying the scoring load. Brevin Galloway, his debut at his hometown school. Hunter Tyson adding to his scoring night. He was 35% beyond the arc a year ago. And he knocks down the three-pointer. That's his first of the night.
Made 5 last Wednesday against Benedict. That's huge.
Turnover by the Bulldogs. They had 9 in the first half.
So Coach Brownell will bring Middlebrook off the bench to start the second half and start Ian after that strong performance.
Galloway off the no-look from Hunter, but he leaves it short. You notice that time Chase Hunter stayed until his shot got to the rim and was able to get the offensive rebound. Drive on the baseline. McAllister. Nice job by Galloway. Tyson with Durr to defend. You saw the contact. It'll be a block.
The turnover right there, another great example of the Tigers being able to stay at home defensively. Ball was driven baseline, and it came out, led to a turnover.
Tigers able to get the ball moving. That led to a good thing at the end.
Driving kick by Brevin Galloway, creating for a teammate. Again, Tigers have created well. That's 11 assists now.
Hunter Tyson gets to the line with some physical play after Galloway forced the turnover.
Great willingness by Madison Durr to give up his body. I actually thought it was a charge. But Hunter got the call, and it's a block. He can shoot in 2.
Gets a second to go down, and Clemson adds to its biggest lead of the night. Brady Spence, senior, out of Douglasville, Georgia. Here's Durr. Kicks it on the wing. And one as Colby McAllister knocks down his first Citadel 3, and he's got a chance to make it a 4-point play.
Freshman Colby McAllister, the freshman out of Alabama. First made field goal so far tonight. Brevin Galloway a little anxious, over eager on that closeout, led to the foul.
Played at Spanish Fort High School, known for his three-point shooting. Not bad from the free throw line either. How do you like that? The first 4 points in his college career coming all in the same play.
That doesn't happen very often.
Bulldogs try to get a stop. Galloway. Chase Hunter. That wide open and unable to knock it down. Here's Durr. They had a very experienced point guard here the last couple of years, Tyler Moff, who came to them after previous college stops, but he really meshed with Hayden Brown. They had a good combo inside and out. Look at Durr. He's going to make a name for himself in a Citadel uniform with moves like that. The Bulldogs back within 12. Hunter. And out front, Schifflin. Ian Schifflin showing you some range.
I don't know if we talked about that part of his game. He took a three Wednesday against Benedict, and so Coach Brownell is going to let him shoot it.
Spence hoping to take some of the inside pressure off of Stephen Clark, especially with Brown's departure from the Citadel lineup. Durr, strong move on Schifflin. No. Good box out down low by Hemingway. Prevented Spence from getting the ball. Hunter, Schifflin, and the finish. Ian Schifflin showing his versatility.
Getting out and running the floor. Great pass. Easy finish.
Schifflin's night, 13 points and 5 boards. Chase Hunter leads all scorers with 19. There's a drive inside by Austin Ash to no avail. Citadel had pulled within 12. Tigers can lead by as many as 20 after this possession.
Tigers are doing a great job not fouling on penetration right now. They struggled with that early on. Much better of late.
And Durr the rebound. And a whistle. And we've got a foul away from the ball. Take a look at Madison Durr and his strong move to the bucket.
So much of the Citadel offense, they got the post up to the top of the key. It spreads the floor. Madison Durr is shown over and over again. He gets downhill with his right hand. He's hard to stop.
Foul was on the Tigers, Brevin Galloway. For a second, I thought the number 11 the official was indicating was for the guy right there near the bottom of your screen, Madison Durr, and that would have been trouble for the Bulldogs. He's on the floor with 3. McAllister pulls up with a hand in his face. Boy, that's a freshman hitting that. He's got 7 points here in the second half. He's keeping the Bulldogs in it.
He hit that after setting a ball screen, too. That's a big play by a freshman.
Tyson from the wing. Rebound by McAllister. McAllister, another guy who's going to be a tough matchup in his league at 6'5", 195. And with range, Kobe McAllister. Ed Conroy took the wrapper off for the second half. How do you like that? They have scored 12 points since the intermission, and Kobe McAllister has 10 of them. And a timeout is called as the Bulldogs are back within 11. Ian Schifflin doing his part as his sophomore season gets going for Clemson.
Ian stepping out, stretching the floor, making a big 3 from the top of the key, and then Chase Hunter coming down the floor, dropping it off.
Tiger Pep Band doing some double duty today, the women's game earlier, and now here for the men's game. I wonder if there's an hours limit per day on the trombone.
I don't know if they have NCAA countable activity hours for the band.
The horn section adding the atmosphere here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Citadel trying to put a run together. McAllister defending the ball handler. Dylan Hunter, who, like McAllister, is a freshman. Hunter Tyson backing in on Maynard. Look at the collapse. Tyson the battle. Scrappy player, the Tigers senior. He decided to come back for a final year. He wants to be a big part of a Clemson run here in 22-23. Game number 1. Tigers have a double-figure advantage. We're going to take a timeout. Well, Citadel getting a breather with those quick timeouts, and frankly, that might have been a benefit for them, and because they're having to use a lot of energy to stay with Hunter Tyson. He has been energetic in this game, as evidenced moments ago.
Yeah, we keep talking about the physical development of Hunter Tyson. 10 points, 8 rebounds right now. Physically has continued to develop, switches ball screens. He's such a dynamic player. I was talking to assistant Dick Bender last Thursday after the exhibition. Hunter Tyson will play basketball professionally for as long as he wants.
Kind of guy that just is a student of the game, usually in the right place. Wherever he's supposed to be. Just see Dick Bender, longtime Brad Brownell assistant. Tyson, 79% from the line last season. Three of 5 so far tonight. And give him 11 points in the ball game. Tigers with 3 in double figures. Hunter 19. All those were in the first half. Tyson with 11, and Ian Schifflin with 13. Bullet pass underneath. Nice find. Morgan and Clark finishing it off.
So Schifflin and Hunter are talking about the ball screen. They broke down on that one.
Back to a 10-point game. Chase Hunter looking for his first second-half point. Schifflin can't get the putback the first time. Rejected by Clark the second time. One of the best shot blockers in the country a year ago. Average over 2 blocks per game. Here's Ash. Wow, and just like that, it's a 7-point game.
The Citadel's going to shoot it early in the possession when they have space.
Bulldogs are 8 of 14 beyond the arc in the contest. That's kept them in it. Chase Hunter, no. Again, an offensive board for Schifflin. Hunter on the drive. Off the hesitation. Hunter Tyson with the rebound. Here's Hemingway. Well, that would have been big, but the Tigers keep the possession. Or Schifflin hitting the deck hard as he ran into Ash.
So we talked about it early on, Clemson's ability to offensive rebound. In games like this, when it's an ACC school versus a SoCon school, you've got to create extra possessions, and you're seeing Clemson kind of impose their will a little bit right now.
This is physical play.
Yes.
And you see holding the right leg, but he's able to pop up. 3 fouls in the Citadel in the half, 2 so far in Clemson.
That's trademark of an Ed Conroy team, though. They are not going to back down from anybody. They're going to be physical and tough.
Hunter Tyson, strong move. And Clark feeling it. And it's going to be called a blocking foul. I think he was inside of the arc. So Stephen Clark picking up the personal. That'll be his second. And he is still yet to get back up on his feet. Good to see him pop back up. Once again, Tyson on the attack.
Hunter Tyson on the drive, but you got to credit the Citadel. Stephen Clark sticks his body in there. He knows he's going to get hit. But the Citadel, they're well coached. That's a big part of Ed Conroy and their culture. They're going to play with physicality and toughness. Stood in there and took that charge, just didn't get the whistle.
It looked like his feet were actually outside of the arc. So that can happen. Hunter Tyson back to the line. Bulldogs on an 11-1 run over the past 2:07, which is how they have been able to reduce what was a 18-point deficit early on in the second half.
So much of it, they've hit 4 threes in the first 6 minutes of the second half. That equals the number they made in the first half.
Tyson knocking down the free throw. Now has 12 points in the game. The Southern Conference has a Palmetto State school picked to win it all, the Furman Paladins, who thought they had themselves a championship with the clocks at all zeros in overtime in Asheville last season, but David Jean-Baptiste jumper to beat the buzzer for Chattanooga, the SoCon tourney title, and they almost advanced past Illinois in the NCAA.
Furman head coach Bob Ritchie is a rising star, and he was my roommate for 2 years in Charleston when we coached at Charleston Southern.
Yeah, he was there for a while. We've seen Charleston Southern come into Littlejohn, play the Tigers in recent years. Their longtime head coach Barclay Radebaugh, and knocked away that time from McAllister. Has been a huge story in this second half for the Bulldogs. Dylan Hunter trying to catch up to his big brother in the scoring column, and they'll get Hunter Tyson battling inside. Thought they might call it over the back, but it's the other number 5, Dave Maynard, for the Citadel, who I believe is called for the personal.
So Dylan Hunter's minutes were cut short in the first half because of foul trouble. But Coach Brownell wants him to find a rhythm, needs him to play well. So you're going to see him play some extended minutes in the second half.
Josh Beadle, redshirt freshman, kicks it at Tyson. And Schifflin looking and battling, playing a little bit of volleyball to go with his hoops. They going to count the bucket? No. Hemingway arguing that the defender Durr was inside of the arc, but that time it will be a charge against Clemson, and I believe they'll wave off the hoop.
That was the third one the Citadels tried to take this half. Third time's a charm. They finally got it, stood in there, and got one.
Tigers now 7 of 19 from beyond the arc. Let's take another look.
Ian Schifflin keeps the ball alive. Hemingway on the tip out, just got to play off 2 feet.
Good play by Durr, who has 3 fouls, and he's been able to be on the court with that number for a while. Bulldogs trying to get as close as they've been since way back in the middle mark of the first half. McAllister feeds to Clark. I don't think he was ready for it. Shot clock at 6. Clark over Schifflin. Good defense by the Tigers sophomore.
Coach Brownell going with 2 freshmen on the floor right now. It's a big stretch.
Here's their 5th-year senior who got out of sorts. Travel is the call. Official on the baseline calls the traveling. The official out high, Nick Heater, I think, was about to ring up the Bulldogs for another foul.
Tigers played with great pace offensively in the last 10 minutes. They've gotten a little sped up here to start the second half.
Brad Brownell chasing win number 219 at the helm of Clemson tonight, closing in on 400 in his career. Not that time out front for McAllister. His first miss from 3 in 4 attempts. And a whistle away from the ball. And the foul will go against McAllister of the Citadel.
So Ian Schifflin continues to post for the Tigers. Gets whistled for the foul by the Bulldogs, and the ball's underneath. 16 fouls now by the Citadel.
6'5" trying to defend 6'7". It's a mismatch in that respect. What can you do if you're McAllister to try to front the player other than just move around him?
You've got to use your quickness. You can't play behind him.
Nice idea by Beadle. Tyson. And he'll go back to the line.
Outstanding pass by the freshman from Columbia, Josh Beadle.
Durr picks up his 4th.
So they came out of this ball screen slip right here. That's called a follow action. Hunter Tyson is coming to the ball, takes 2 steps, cuts straight to the rim. Again, outstanding pass by Josh Beadle.
Tigers 9 of 13 on free throws in the game. Hunter Tyson now 6 of 9. 3-point play. Builds the lead back out to 11. Tyson now with 15 points. He had 19 points and 6 boards in the exhibition last week against Benedict. Morgan driving the lane. Not a wise move.
Great example by the Tigers of making sure that you don't foul.
Tigers trying to build in a double-figure lead. Beadle. Not a bad drive at all. A little fake in there, but he can finish. Bulldogs had pulled within 7 after trailing by as many as 18. McAllister defended by Hunter. Mike Green just onto the floor. That's him with the ball for the Citadel. Morgan. And the rebound to Hemingway.
Really good defensive possession there by the Tigers, staying at home with shooters.
Dylan Hunter feeding Schifflin. Contact, offensive foul. I thought Clark might be inside of the circle, but a foul on Ian Schifflin. He's been doing many good things, though, on the night.
Great job right here by both Schifflin and Beadle, staying vertical right there.
Ian Schifflin picking up his first personal foul. He's been playing a lot of minutes tonight for good reason, so Brad Brownell did not think this should have been called a charge.
Yeah, and I don't think so either. It's a tough one. That's a secondary defender rotating over. Hill is on the arc. But I tell you what, every time that Clemson drives the basketball, there will be a Citadel guy waiting for them to take a charge.
Bulldogs down by 11. Citadel team a year ago finished 13 and 18. 2 years ago, they had their first winning season in a while. That's a winning play by Hunter Tyson, throwing it down off the turnover.
Hunter Tyson makes so many plays that impacts winning basketball games.
17 points for the Tiger out of the Charlotte area. Clark out high. Morgan kicks back out. Shot clock under 10. Clark works inside. Stephen Clark with a nice move. Tigers have kept him reasonably contained, but he does now have 8 points in the game, and the Citadel with the answer.
Really good drive by Stephen Clark. Outstanding defensive possession by Clemson till the end.
And we'll get a block away from the ball. Hunter Tyson getting it done in lots of ways.
Activity in the passing lane. Just anticipated that. Used his length. Ball gets reversed. Leads to a steal and a dunk.
He's listed at 6'8", 204. I think the weight's a little bit more than that. He looks like he's taller than 6'8".
I think so. You know, I remember when he was in high school, he's grown so much physically. Just a really mentally tough kid as well.
Good ball movement that time. And Austin Ash finishing. He's having a nice debut for the Bulldogs. He's in double figures. Now has 14 points. Shiflin draws the double team. Galloway, haven't heard from him in a while. And Clark the rebound. So here come the Bulldogs. Chance to get back within 7, where they were earlier in this half. Ash coming to the SoCon school from the Big Ten, where he played at Iowa. McAllister moving on Galloway. Clark will step back. Missing badly. Clark last season was a 29% shooter from beyond the arc.
Tigers were fortunate in that possession. There was a late breakdown defensively, and it led to a wide open 3.
Hunter in the corner to Galloway. Low block, Shiflin. Lefty hook, no. Offensive rebound. And it'll go to the line.
You're seeing Ian Shiflin really step up. You're seeing him grow today, becoming a guy that the Tigers can throw it to and score.
What a great athletic program his high school has developed over the years. Their girls team's a dynasty, and their boys team's not that bad either, and he's taken that winning attitude to the college level.
And Coach Sweeney and the football guys have had some pretty good ones come from Grayson High School as well. Chase Bryce wasn't too bad on 4th and 6 against Syracuse.
Very good point. Wayne Gallman.
Outstanding athletic program in Georgia. And that's a big part of this class for Clemson. If you look at those freshmen, Georgia guys primarily, they do a great job recruiting in the Peach State.
Shiflin, 71% shooter for his career coming into the night. 10-point game. Ian Shiflin, 14 points, a new career high. His previous was 12 last year against North Carolina.
And he hasn't been subbed out in the second half. That's big, Pete.
Middlebrook's got the start in the pivot. Of course, P.J. Hall not available for this game, and really no word on when he's going to get back to game action. Boy, Ash really likes to force the shot. He's been successful doing it tonight, but not that time. Hunter dumps inside. Shiflin. Ed Conroy will call a timeout. His team had the ball with a chance to get within 7. He looks up with 8:25 to go and doesn't want this to get out of hand. Tigers have a 12-point advantage. Moving the basketball is what they want to do. Just ask Chase Hunter.
Chase Hunter continues to create for others.
A couple of guys with double-doubles, and Ian Shiflin building on that career high. We told you 12 against North Carolina last year had been his benchmark. 16 so far. With J.D. Powell, Pete Hannity back with you. Let's not lose sight of the fact, and I probably should have made this point earlier. You talk about guys like Ben Middlebrooks, Ian Shiflin trying to fill the shoes of P.J. Hall. Hunter Tyson needs to be part of that dynamic as well until Hall returns.
He's going to have to be, and that's why his performance in the exhibition game, making 5 threes, was so important for Clemson. When he can shoot threes like that, it really changes their offense, especially when PJ comes back.
And it also gives them the opportunity to score off the dribble, because you've got to respect the fact he can go outside. And might have been a bailout foul by Galloway as they forced McAllister into an off-balance shot.
The Citadel makes you have to be really disciplined defensively. You've got to stay home with shooters. You've got to show your hands on penetration. They're going to shot fake you. They're going to give you every move in the book. And it just tests your discipline.
Colby McAllister having a big second half. 11 points, all since the break.
Those 3 threes really got the run started for the Citadel at the beginning of the half as well. And those 3 threes, they changed the way Clemson has to defend. You know, it makes them have to spread out more, stay out more with shooters. And now it opens up those driving lanes and allows them to get to the rim and try to get fouled, get to the free throw line.
Fouled, taking a 3, so a 3rd free throw upcoming. And he's perfect on each of them. 13 points in the game for the freshman at a Spanish Fort High in Alabama, between Birmingham and Huntsville. Nice and defended on the wing by Engler, and a foul, and Clark a look of exasperation, but they didn't call it on him. They called it on his teammate Elijah Morgan.
So we're going to get this back cut right here. Another great example of Ian Schifflin's ability to pass from the top of the key. But it's a 1-and-1. So the Tigers go back to the free throw line. Next foul's a double bonus with 8 minutes to go. 9-point game. Clemson's not out of the woods yet.
First points of the second half for Chase Hunter, who did damage at various points in half number 1, including that 3 to beat the buzzer, as the Tigers took a 14-point lead into the locker room. Knocks down 2, good-looking player. Actually, he went to Westlake High. His younger brother Dylan finished up his high school career at a different school, Sunrise Christian, in the Atlanta area.
One of the best prep schools in the country. They always produce really high-level players at Sunrise.
Look at Ash showing you a teardrop runner. 66-57. Citadel just hanging around. And again, you see the 9-point deficit, but the way they shoot threes, it is not all that safe. Tyson down low, has the size on Engler, instead kicks it out. Hemingway, he tries the runner with success.
Found some space and able to get downhill. That's a big basket for Clemson.
Brad Brownell will use the timeout.
So much of it, Pete, in a game like this, it's Citadel Clemson. Clemson has won 16 in a row. As the game gets under 8 minutes and it's a single-digit game, you know, the pressure all shifts to Clemson. It shifts to the home team, particularly when you're dealing with a team like the Citadel, who has shown they can spread the floor, make threes in transition. So the biggest thing Coach Brownell is talking about right now, first of all, we got to play without fouling. They're fouling too much. We got to stay home with shooters, be solid for the full 30-second shot clock, finish the possession so they can get back in transition. They haven't been able to get in transition as much in the second half, thus they haven't been able to score it as well.
You were on the Citadel staff when Clemson came down to play in McAllister Fieldhouse. That was a Brad Brownell team. I want to say Oliver Purnell also brought a team down there, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but I remember the Brad Brownell game down there several years ago.
The Citadel team was coached by Chuck Drizel, the son of legendary coach Lefty Drizel. There was so much anticipation for that game with the Tigers coming on campus. That was a great time. The cadets showed up, as they always do for big games like that. Didn't turn out well for the Citadel, but it was a fun night in the Low Country.
And it was great, and of course, a bunch of Clemson folks down that way appreciated. And the Tigers have played in the Charleston Classic. I think I'm thinking of a game when Oliver was coaching, played Charleston Southern in the North Charleston Coliseum on a Saturday night many years ago.
That's right.
Fun, too. Ash, after the Bulldogs got the offensive rebound, McAllister gets him another. No guilt out of the Iowa transfer. And why not? 9-3 made in the game for the Bulldogs. Ash has 16.
Again, an offensive rebound.
Hunter Tyson with the offensive foul. A look of disbelief as he speaks to the official nearby. Bulldogs get it back, trailing by 8.
This is the hard part when you're guarding the Citadel. It's a long three, leads to a long rebound. You've got to go find the shooter. Austin Ash gets a second one. He's able to knock that one down.
Ash has made 5 of their 9 from beyond the arc, and now the officials are going to come to the monitor to determine if there was a flagrant nature. If it was inadvertent. All Hunter Tyson looked like he was trying to do was position to make a pass. And we will take a look along with the officiating crew as Tyson picks up the personal foul. And defended by Dylan Engler. I think Engler would be the first one to tell you there was nothing flagrant about it. All Hunter Tyson was trying to do was swing the ball so he could make a pass to look for a cutter. You hope Engler's okay.
Yeah, whenever I saw it in real time, I didn't think there was very much contact. Obviously on the replay there was. Any contact to the head or neck area, it's going to be a flagrant. So it'll be a flagrant 1. Citadel will get two shots, down 8, and then they're going to get the basketball. So 6:41 to go. They've got a chance to cut this to a 2-possession game with the basketball. And so, as I said, under 8 minutes to go, first game back for Ed Conroy back at the Citadel, where he had so much success, not just as a coach, but as a cadet and as a core squad athlete. First game, they've played well, and they're going to be a tough out in the Southern Conference.
Picked down near the bottom, but in a conference that, as we mentioned, Furman picked to win it. Don't sleep on the Samford Bulldogs. That's a talented team. Chattanooga, Wofford, among others who will be heard from in that conference. But Citadel, they were a tough team to play when Duggar Balkum was there because the pace they played at and the fact you had to get out on the wing and defend so often.
Yeah, Duggar Balkum, former head coach at the Citadel, did an outstanding job. Just a really good man. Very grateful to Duggar and what he's done for me in my career. Obviously had the incident at Duke last season when he collapsed during a game, and an assistant, Jack Castleberry, had to finish the game for him, but just a really good man.
Player control foul. So nothing more. So they didn't go with the flagrant. Thanks to Nick Heater, one of our officials, for telling us that. Duggar that night, it was tragic, but fortunately he was okay.
Thank you, sir.
Citadel made 18 threes in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke still won decisively, but they did their thing as far as three-pointers go.
Well, I'm sure Coach Balkum is watching tonight, proud of the Citadel. They really played well that night, even after he had to leave.
Morgan kicks it on the wing. Engler with a nice little move. And Clark couldn't find the handle. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Clark right back at it, reversing. Can't get the roll. Boy, that could have been significant. Would have made it a 2-possession ball game.
Sure could. We had a baseline drive, dropped it down. Stephen Clark just couldn't finish it.
Beadle. Now the Tigers are hoping grows his game this year. Nasty spill by Clark. Actually landed on the leg of Beadle, and that might have helped break his fall, but he's slow to get up. Other end, Ash. They were playing 4-on-5, and now a stop and play as Stephen Clark is still on one knee on the other end of the floor. I think it was fortunate that he landed somewhat on the body of Beadle, and that broke a good part of the fall, or else his head would have hit hard.
Sure would. Josh Beadle driving that to his right. The left-handed guard tries to go back up with his left. Big collision. Anytime that the Tigers have driven the basketball to the paint, there's at least one, if not two, Citadel guys waiting for him.
Durr comes back on the floor. McAllister will have to sit for a moment. I'm sorry, Clark will have to sit for a moment, I believe.
So Josh Beadle's a really dynamic driver. He starts it to his left, his strong hand, spins back. Got to be able to finish that with his right hand. Got to be able to go offhand right there. Not going to be able to scoop that underneath in the ACC and finish that.
Clark able to stay out there, but you see how he landed on part of the body of Beadle, and that was Very fortunate, and fortunate that Beadle wasn't hurt in any way on that play too. Shiflin. Hunter Tyson. Tigers trying to get something going offensively once again. Bulldogs within 8. Hunter, no look. Shiflin with authority.
Chase Hunter just continues to do that over and over again. He gets in the lane, plays off 2 feet, drops it down to Shiflin, lays it in.
Tigers lead by 10. Shiflin getting as many minutes in a game as he has in his collegiate career. And the foul on Beadle. So you coached in a variety of leagues. You were a player in the late 90s at Clemson in the ACC. You coached in the Big South, the SoCon, the Colonial, the SEC, as we take a look at this move inside by Shiflin.
Yeah, Chase Hunter's been outstanding, you know, and Ian Shiflin is well schooled and just playing right there on the baseline in that dunker spot. Have your hands ready. Chase Hunter just keeps serving it up to him.
5 assists in the game for Hunter, the senior, as Durr hits the first free throw. We always hear about physical play in the power conferences. Does it seem to be more physical, having been at Georgia recently, watching SEC? Because I watch a lot of the Southern Conference, and I see a bunch of physical guys going at it in that league.
Yeah, I think it's physical everywhere. You know, they've tried to clean it up a little bit more on the perimeter with the hand contact, but these are the biggest, strongest athletes that we've ever had playing basketball, and there's a lot of contact around the rim in every league.
Bulldogs trying to hold their own physically. Spin move, Hemingway, rejection. Stephen Clark averaged 2.4 blocks per game a season ago. That's something he's been very good at in his time at the Citadel. Maynard, quick 3 attempt. Not going to go for him. Here's Beadle. Shiflin from outside. Boy, wouldn't that have been something on his career high night of 18 points, adding in 3 more. Clark will try it from long range. Stephen Clark with a trade. And it is a 6-point game. Bulldogs have cut it to a 2-possession deficit.
Transition basketball. You better find where the Citadel guys are.
Clark picking up his scoring. 11 in the game. Tyson. Nice move. Forces it. Hunter Tyson. 19 points. He's closing in on his career high. Had 21 against Wake a couple of seasons back. Gabe Maynard, the Colgate transfer, second season in the Bulldog program. Again launching a 3, again missing badly, and a foul underneath. Take a timeout, come back to Littlejohn.
So much of it tonight for the Tigers has been about Ian Shiflin. Catching on the low block, scoring it to each shoulder, and then running the floor, being able to catch and finish in transition. And then when he can step out and hit a top of the key 3 like that, when P.J. Hall does come back for the Tigers, it gives them another scoring threat. He's really played well tonight, and he's got to thank Chase Hunter a lot for that. Chase has done an outstanding job of driving it, playing off 2 feet, finding Ian, getting easy baskets at the rim.
Little did we know when we talked about Shiflin in our open that he'd not only get a career high in points, but would have the best game so far of his Clemson career with a double-double. 18 points, 13 boards. And in talking about it during the timeout, the recipient of many of those passes from Chase Hunter, I don't know what I like more tonight. Chase Hunter, the scorer, with 21 so far, or the distributor with 5 assists on
and
the
0
night.
turnovers.
Very efficient night for Hunter, the senior, and Shiflin, the Tiger sophomore, both out of the Atlanta area. Shiflin might have gotten away with a couple of crow hops there, like an outfielder in baseball. Gets the offensive rebound. Tigers trying to add to this lead, add some insurance. Galloway, the man to do that. Back up by 10.
So the Tigers come out of the timeout, post Chase Hunter, get an offensive rebound. It leads to a layup, much needed.
Clark trying to score when his team needs it. Can't get the finish. Battle inside. Hunter Tyson doing a good job. Chase Hunter. Pretty move. He blew right by the defender, McAllister.
That's a great example of what we talked about earlier. He was able to get in transition after a miss.
Clark looking to back in on Shiflin. And he fronts him well. And Stephen Clark building on his night. He's got 13.
Turned to his left shoulder, got to his spot, jump hook.
Citadel not going away, 10-point game. They'll have a lot to grade on their film. I think Ed Conroy will be happy with much of what he's seen this evening. You've also got to factor in, they're going against a team that has athleticism they simply don't possess at this point in their program.
No, absolutely. It's a great starting point for Coach Conroy and the Citadel.
Hemingway. That might be the dagger. Alex Hemingway knocking down another three, his second of the night.
Big shot by Alex.
Under 2 to play. Ash working inside. Galloway defends. Tyson anticipating. Nearly knocked it away from McAllister. Clark from the corner. Shefflin got out to defend. Timeout called by Conroy. Back to a 9-point game with 1:43 remaining.
So much of it late game like that. You've got to know time and score. You've got to stay out with shooters. And Ian's a little bit late closing out to Stephen Clark and leads to a made three. So now we're going to be in a situation where Clemson's got to take it full length. Up 9.
That stage of the game where Brad Brownell is preaching efficiency, at least he's about to as he gets back in the huddle. Tigers doing a good job, really good job on the offensive glass this evening.
Absolutely, and Ian Shiflin has been such a huge part of that, creating extra possessions. One of the funny things, Pete, we're sitting right beside the Citadel bench. At one point, Ed Conroy picked up my pen and a stat sheet and circled Ian's offensive rebounds and handed the sheet back to me. And as you said, he knows they can't simulate that size, but these games are going to make them better, and they're still in it. You know, 3-possession game, minute 43 to go. Citadel doesn't have a timeout. Clemson has one, and so they're talking about all those situational things right now as they come out of the timeout. This is great preparation for the Citadel and for their team for those close games in the Southern Conference. And, Pete, I want to make sure I mention Mike Capaccio, the athletic director at the Citadel. He's done an outstanding job building that football program, giving Coach Conroy a chance to come back and rebuild this basketball program. And Tony Skoll, their baseball coach, does an outstanding job. But Mike Capaccio is as good as anybody in the business.
Officials reviewing as to whether or not Hemingway's foot was on the line, so that'll continue. And Mike Capaccio doing a fine job. And you mentioned Tony Skoll and Ed Conroy, both Citadel alums, now working back at their alma mater. And Skoll was on that College World Series team in 1990 for the Bulldogs, so he went out to Omaha. And of course, Ed Conroy, very good career and also very good run the first time as a head coach, delivering one of their 3 20-win seasons in Citadel program history. They're one of the 4 teams that's been part of NCAA Division I since the tournament came about in the late 1930s that has not made the big dance. Came real close under Les Robinson about 40 years ago. St. Francis of New York, William and Mary, and Army are the other 3, and Ed Conroy trying to get the breakthrough. Up until a few years ago, Northwestern was part of that group.
They were. That's something that, having been a part of the Citadel program, that, you know, we always talked about it every year. You want to be the group that's going to be the one that breaks that through, and it's going to happen one day.
By the way, second chance points are reasonably even in the game, but the Tigers do have a 13-5 advantage on the offensive glass, and Clemson, coming out of the last time out, had scored 7 second chance points. Big reason why they still have a reasonably comfortable lead here in the late stages. Coming up on a buck and a half to go in regulation. Tigers just trying to milk some clock. Chase Hunter defended out high by Dylan Engler. Hunter had it deflected to the right man. It's all going Ian Shiflin's way in the first game of his sophomore campaign.
Those two have been really good together tonight, Ian Shiflin and Chase Hunter. That's something that Coach Brownell and the Tigers will be able to build on for sure as they get ready to go to Columbia on Friday.
20 points, 14 boards for Shiflin. 4 Tigers in double figures. Hunter leads all scorers with 23. Clark has 16 to lead the Bulldogs. Tigers have out-rebounded the Citadel by 12. Nice job reaching in that time, trying to create the turnover by Engler. Tyson almost made the 3 to beat the buzzer, and Shiflin can't save it with 33.4 to go. Sometimes it just all goes your way when you do the right things like Ian Shiflin has done.
Yeah, it's a great ball screen right here for Chase Hunter, and those two have really been able to connect tonight. Another great roll and dive.
Pretty sure that ball was deflected to him, but Hunter gave him the assist on the play. Tigers just going to dribble out the final seconds of this ball game, and the Clemson Tigers will make it 17 straight wins in the series. Give the Citadel Bulldogs credit, though. They trailed by nearly 20 points early in the second half, got as close as 6 down the stretch. Clemson Tigers will open up the 2022 and 23 season with an 80-69 victory as Ed Conroy and Brad Brownell talk about things as this game comes to an end.
Great start for both teams. There'll be a ton of things on film that they can take away from it as they get ready to move on to the next one.
Clemson team with a home win to start. Now the rivalry game awaits on Friday night in Columbia. Been a whole lot of fun working alongside J.D. Powell. And on behalf of J.D. and our fine crew, Pete Hannity, saying so long from Littlejohn Coliseum. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN.